and we're back with some more of our France campaign. Yeah, and now we're gone. I mean, if we can get Italy as part of us, all these units here, which is what, 11, 13 units that we can put up onto the Belgian front, which, I mean, if we eventually take them out, which would be really nice if we did, because we're still a democracy, that's kind of a problem here. I mean, they're slightly fascist. Probably not enough that we would be able to change them over. But let's see. In our country here, fascism is now at 2%. So it's getting there very slowly. Especially, I think even once we get Army of Aggression, will that help with it? No, it will not. I think we still need to get the other political advisors for that. Helping out Nationalist Spain would be good because if they do become nationalists, then we could even invite them to our faction, which would be really strong because it wouldn't be too useful. I mean, most of the time Spain's pretty beat up, they can't really do too much, but I definitely want Nationalist Spain to win as opposed to Republican, because if they do become Republican, they join the Allies, and that's a whole other front that we have to deal with, which I don't really want to. We want to make our campaign as easy as possible. Well, I mean, the triggers with these games is you do the diplomacy early, so you make sure that the military game of it later on is that much easier. That's sort of how you're supposed to play the diplomatic game. Something you got to consider. You got to consider every nation and what they're going to do. Speaking of which, we should be looking at what they're doing. Games at the Olympiad. I think Germany won that. I think it is. I don't know what I was looking there. So UK is going into the Benelux. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Benelux, perhaps. Which is interesting because they could get claims on Belgium and Netherlands, which is kind of bad. If they take Netherlands, that's okay by me. It'll give them a nice landing to attack the Germans from, but we want the Dutch, not the Dutch. We want Belgium. I think Dutch is a language, or unless it's, I don't know. I'm not well versed in the culture of Europe, so we want Belgium. That's all. That's all I was trying to say there. So let's try and deal with that. How are units coming along? Pretty pathetically. 500 days until our shortage of infantry equipment goes away. Producing about 40 per. That was a weird accent going there, but military factors are getting up there. I mean, it's still slow work, but we've actually got decent construction of factories. If we wanted to really early on, we could go for even bigger or I guess more aggressive economy stances and really get their military factory construction speed up, which would be interesting. The 20% bonus to that would be really strong, especially when you consider most of them will be stacked with these kind of construction speeds as well, so that could be really strong as well. You get 10%, 20%, 40% already bonus for military factory construction speed, which is, I think, pretty strong. Excuse the squeaky chairs, I readjust because the chair's way too old, and I think at this point I've actually managed to like wear out all the leather on where I actually sit, so I'm just like sitting on metal at this point. Yeah, I think I need a new chair. One thing I do want to do, I haven't done it too much, I want to make you red. There we go. That, I think it makes it a lot more visible when you've got the right colours. As for you, I'll give you blue. Obviously I don't think is probably a good idea considering our country is blue, but I think sort of fluorescent green should stand out pretty well. There we go. I like the colours of it. I think it's just such a small little change, but I think it's so useful. One thing that I forgot to change is where the rest of our ships deploy to. So we'll get them to what is this? Provence, I think. I'm horrendous at pronouncing things, but Provence. I'm not gonna bother. Provence. I don't want to say it in like too much of like a sort of like not redneck, but sort of I guess un-European accent. So you can go join the rest of that fleet there. Join together. They all join together. Did we give you a commander in this army? No, we did not. So spreading chance, number of ships in first contact. That's pretty good actually. We'll get the. It goes like that. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's good. That's alright, that's that sorted. I think we're doing okay here. You need a leader, sort of. I guess Armor Speed, Armor Division, really good for the Panzers actually. But I guess we can get you for now. Apparently, did I say that someone didn't have orders? I didn't see that correctly, did I? I'm trying to think if we do want to set up like a sort of training camp. I am worried about our manpower, but if we do manage to get it so it's just like these two provinces here that we have to defend, then I'm not worried because we'll build up forts here as well. So it would make it a lot easier. Even still, I mean, we still need a lot more units regardless. And for that, we need manpower. I mean, army experience is important. It will be useful later on. And there's a chance that Germany just doesn't attack over this border. So maybe I think I will. So we're gonna get you here. You're gonna be created as part of a new army. Just get you for now. Issue a garrison here. And we wanna make sure that our units deploy into that army. I think that's the way you can do it, right? So they'll automatically deploy to him now. I'm not sure if that's exactly how it works here. Right click to set deployment location for this. I think there's any other way you can do it. I'm pretty sure there's a way you can get it to deploy to people's armies, but right, here we go. Click to assign and you can do. Hang on, how do you do it? I think that way it's gonna auto deploy. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So we'll have them exercise. You're already level 2, but you can get up to level 3, so that's okay. We'll leave it like that. So all of our infantry will automatically deploy to here, so they'll constantly train up. It's going to cost us a bit of manpower, I know, but I think because once we start to continue to go down the fascist route, then I think we'll be okay. Fascism is up to 14% in our country. That's actually really good. I'm surprised how quickly that was going up. And I'm thinking we do go down to Army of Aggression here. I don't think we'll worry about wooing Italy just yet. We do need to wait for fascism to take over regardless. Well, it needs to be at least 40% of our country's popularity. So while we wait for that to continue to go up, which will probably happen pretty soon regardless. While we wait for that, we'll get our industry working. Before the war, that's when we'll set up doing all this stuff. And it's a Barbar happens. Fascist coup. This is a chance of popular support for a fascist coup. I think that's what we want. Alright, so they've been debating an intervention for a Benelux intervention. Germany looks like they've just been doing a bunch of industrial improvement, which is okay. Italy, capital ship effort. So there looks like they're going down Mare Nostrum. Japan, airbase expansion, US, Central America. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I swear they always, regardless of historical focus or not, they always go for South America. Which is really annoying for my Argentina campaign. Having to basically jump in and fight the US right from the start. That was disappointing, or challenging to say the least. Right, so we need for fascism to take over so we can do that one. So we are going to have to wait on that regardless. The infrastructure, a bunch of infrastructure. What gives us the most? Gives us 4. Also gives us 4. Requires one of the following. I mean, they're all going to take the same time anyway, so suppose we go for Metropolitan? That doesn't sound like the way I'm saying it. Anyway, we'll go for that first because, I mean, at least we'll be in our home territory. And again, I don't think I'm going to be protecting our African territories too strongly. if it ends up that we do join up with Italy, then we might not even have to worry about Africa, because Italy generally tends to take over Africa from what I've seen in most of my games. Belgium, well, we can go take them out when we eventually go and attack them, when we do become fascist. And then, yeah, so then UK, they should be taken out by themselves, so we don't have to worry about Italy attacking us. I think we'll be okay. Liberia, that is an American sort of thing, I'm guessing. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Yeah, so there we go, that's that. Does British people, British Raj have, no, they got a basic tree. Okay, that's fine. What else do we need to be looking at here? Keep an eye on these logistics here. So less than a year until our shortage of infantry equipment is done. Which is kind of interesting considering we need 19,000 and apparently do that in a year, which is pretty impressive. But we still need a lot more military factories. I mean, if you look at Germany, they've got roughly, you know, we'll say 40. That's sort of a middle number there, but 40, you know, it's a bit more than us. So that's going to be tough. Even Britain's not too strong. Yeah, so that'll be that. Italy, we could even. Obviously, we don't have any national focuses for it, but it would be interesting if we could get Japan as part of our faction. Just like literally become Germany, just by doing what they normally do, except doing it better, hopefully. That would be really interesting. Sorry about the squeaky chair again. Yeah, that's something we could do. Yeah, Switzerland, I mean, they'll stay mostly neutral. That is a thought. I mean, Japan itself doesn't really get us too much. That would be good if... generally when I talk about strategies here, they're all very far forward where, you know, multiple things could happen in between and, you know, an earlier objective could fail entirely. So, that's something to keep in mind, that a lot of the time when I say things like, you know, it'd be good later on when we attack the Soviets, you know, after we've taken over all this land here, that Japan can help us on this front. Obviously, it won't be too useful because, you know, going through all the Soviets through here is kind of difficult and pointless. But, I mean, it's a thought nonetheless. Okay. Whew. A lot of talking. I do need to take a drink. I'm not going to take a drink because I forgot to refill my water bottle, so... I'm a genius, go me. How's fascism doing? 23%. I think we needed it to be at 40% before we can do this. Yep. Or more than 40%, so... That's soon-ish. I mean, this goes up really quickly. On the right. We do have... I think it's... What is, hang on. Am I seeing this correctly? Daily fascism support, yes, plus 10. Oh, right, because of this popularity, all effects are scaled to 50%. Right, of course. I think we want to just max out infantry equipment and then probably go onto tanks. Maybe even airplanes. We're not producing any airplanes at the moment. I just noticed. All that research finished at the same time. Wow, holy crap. Radar detection, I don't think is going to be too useful for us. It's about to be the new year, so we can go for this stuff. I think the earlier you get it, the better. As for this, we could go for land doctrine, naval doctrine. I think the air and the naval doctrines, I mean, they're good, obviously, but you get the Joffrey class. What else do we want? Better armor. We're still... Actually start with pretty good tanks. I guess there's just a big gap there. Support battalions. Would be good to get the engineers. They're useful, so... one thing I don't fully understand is the support equipment. We changed it there because we did get new ones. I'm not sure how it all works. I think it's supposed it's... Because we've got those support weapons here. I think that's just an actual buff as opposed to... like this stuff here. Yeah, okay, that makes sense because it's just production. Alright. I was thinking that the not the national focus, technology, that's what I'm looking for. That these support weapons here, I thought they were actually a different production unit or different production line that we could implement, but this is just actual buffs. I think it's more talking about these production lines that will actually have to change. So, well, not change, but start producing for. We don't have too much army experience. Obviously, units are training pretty down slowly. We do need artillery production. Currently, we're waiting on that a lot. So maybe that's what we set up next as well, because tanks are obviously nice, but most of the time I don't think it's going to be too much of a big deal. We're just not getting any equipment to these guys. That's what's really important, to get the artillery in there. Because I think most of the time the infantry is going to be a lot more useful. Tanks are obviously nice. You do need tanks. That's important. This tank unit here, I'm going to move onto this line. Because tanks in mountains, as you can probably guess, not that useful. So, any mountainous units we want to keep over there, we can actually have a look and make sure. Any mountain units. Yep, okay. It's fine by me. Yeah, because playing as a fascist Argentina in my last game, let me just say, fuck trying to take over Chile. They've got this tiny thin line, all of which their units get sandwiched into, and it's all mountains, and that was the worst time of my life ever. Anyway, industrial expansion, 28% fascist, pretty good. I think maybe we can get maybe up to the extra research slot before we get 40% popularity for fascism. That would be good. We do want Italy to like us as well, because I'm not sure if it matters, but I think if the more they like us, then it will increase the chance that that they will accept our invitation to join our faction, which is obviously a very crucial part of our strategy. Now, nationalist Spain, well, the civil war has broken out. There we go. We can get an aggression pact with these guys. They won't accept it. Naturally. So I do want to send them volunteers because I want them to win the war. But at the moment we're not fascist, so we can't do that. I think most of the time the nationalists win. Naturally, is when I was playing as a fascist country, nationalist Spain lost. But we'll have to see. I mean, even if Republican Spain wins, there's a pretty sizable chance, as you can see. They're pretty darn communist, so they're very likely to join the communists. I mean, they already start with the ideology of the communists, so that's pretty good. So, I mean, there's 50-50 chance that we win, and then probably, what, 25% chance that they end up joining the Allies, which is, like, that's not what we want at all. 30%, oh, good. Actually, yeah, I mean, I was really surprised at how good, I knew in my head that plus 0.2 daily fascism support was good, but didn't know it was this good. We're still obviously democratic. Our next election is in 1940. I just realized that now. So, as much as we'll get the popularity to be a fascist country, unless we get a coup, which is likely, I'm guessing that's maybe part of the fascist ideology. That's much more likely. We're not actually going to be able to change to a fascist country until 1940, which is really bad because we need to become fascist so we don't have to worry about the world tension in order to fabricate war goals, because we want to get Brussels as soon as possible, or Belgium as soon as possible, so we can start building up the force and reinforce that border. So it's kind of bad that we're gonna have to wait. We're really not getting much army experience from doing this. Maybe we shouldn't do it. I don't think it's really getting us much, so we'll just assign him to him, and we'll assign it to that line. Yeah, I mean, we're barely getting any army experience. If we want to get some army experience, we'll probably be through attacking Belgium. So, how are we doing here? It's very important for National Spain to get Madrid. That's how they basically win that war. Closing off that pocket's important, and if you can cut this line off here. And then slowly just crush down on Catalonia. Or, I guess the area of Catalonia. This province itself is Barcelona. I assumed it was, but I wasn't sure. Right, okay. Civil war for fascism. This is important, because this is a big part of our plan. So, while the attempts of the fascist movement to revitalize the people's pride in their nation have seen some success, the resistance against these ideas remain high. So, if you want to read that, go ahead and read it. I won't read it all because it's boring. So, remove national spirit, fascist revolutionaries, gets reign of terror. Movement Francist, remove national spirit. I mean, so I think it's hard to tell. So, okay, so if we do this, we do lose the daily fascism support, which is really bad because we still need it. But we will become fascist. I mean, we do get political power gain plus 10% for a couple of years, so I mean, it's not too much at the moment, obviously, because of the disjointed government. We really just needed the 40% in the fascist support. But I'm not sure how many other opportunities we'll get to change to fascist, so I guess we're starting a civil war. Pause it there and let's see what we got here. Alright, so Vichy France. Well, that's something we'll have to deal in the next episode, so I'll see you then.